Good evening, my fellow gardeners. This is South Carolina. I can't even say it. This is South Carolina Transplant, also known as Martin, coming to you live from Zone 8A, the Piedmont of South Carolina. Well, it came in better late than never, but it came. This is a Proven Winners Boom Bash Hollywood hibiscus. I saw a YouTube short where Proven Winners Direct advertised this plant and I fell in love with it. The reason I fell in love with it is it has multiple colored blooms. I saw one of these a few years back. It was one of the hibiscus plants that had the twisting trunks. I don't recall if it was a Proven Winners plant, but I just recall that it was at a Home Depot and there was a woman there who was purchasing it. It was the last one and it was on clearance. From what I recall, it just had like one broken limb or something on it, and she got it for, I think, less than half price. Boy, I wanted to give her full price for that thing when I saw it. But it was very similar to this. And I've been patiently waiting, trying to find this plant, and hey, it found me during that YouTube short. I ordered this plant for my birthday. And for those of you who have wished me a happy birthday, I really appreciate the shout outs in the comments. Thank you so much. So I tried to order the plant with Proven Winners Direct. Then I got redirected to Home Depot, and somehow or another, the app routed me to the local Home Depot in our area. However, the actual store didn't have the plant. So then the store ended up redirecting me to their partner organization, which is J Berry. I've never dealt with that nursery before, but I will tell you, the plant came in great shape. The packaging was phenomenal. And look at it. It actually is a lighter green than it was when it arrived here. We had cold spell. It got down to like 42 last night. I put it in the garage because I noticed that it was shipped out of Texas to here. So if it was grown either in a nursery or a warmer climate, I want it to be safer than sorry and not have it exposed to, 42-degree weather, and just put it in the garage just for safekeeping. I had a red hibiscus. I'm not certain if it was a Proven Winners hibiscus, but I had one here last year. And for those of you who have been following me, you know that my brother passed away last fall, and I just dropped everything when he passed away. So back in good spirits, getting back into the swing of things. I used to bring the hibiscus in the garage and overwinter it, and I just dropped everything and I didn't do it last year. So I'm gonna remove this hibiscus that died over winter outside. They're tropical hibiscus. They're just not meant to be out in the winters. So we're gonna remove it. We're gonna replace it with this beautiful shrub here, and we're just gonna enjoy it, y'all. Now, I don't know why I pulled this tarp out, because this patio definitely needs, at least what I normally do on this patio is I power wash it every year. And take this. I'm gonna tease this to you guys. I have a drip project that I'm doing later, and I pre-stage these loops, and I'm gonna connect this all later, but I'm just kind of teasing that real quick. But anyway, the point I was making is, I usually power wash the house and this patio every spring, but we've been having like this invasion of these fire ant mounds growing in the crevices of the patio. So I got the fire ant, powder all around. There's dirt all around the patio from their mud slicks. So I'm not gonna power wash it per se. If I have a car wash can sprayer, I'm just gonna give it a nice little soaping and just rinse it off until I'm ready to do the industrial strength power washing. So, all right. So let me just slide the mulch out the way. And earlier this spring, I treated this pot with flower tone because I wasn't certain if I was gonna get this guy back. There's no rush to go out and buy anything. And this season I'm in my cost saving. Let me get myself a bucket. Maybe I could put it all in this mulch. Maybe I could put all the mulch in this strainer here. I'm sorry. So what I was saying is, I treated myself and purchased this plant. I've been discussing with you guys about winter sowing and not going out and spending a lot of money on plants. But I did buy this guy, and I did go to Creekside Nursery up in Dallas, North Carolina, my favorite place, and got myself something. So, you gotta treat yourself sometimes. I enjoy winter sowing and growing my own plants and flowers, but sometimes it's nice to just go speak to other gardeners, meet people, and just commune about gardening. That's more of that, what that was about than spending money. So I think if I'd used a bucket, this would have been a little easier to do. So let me dig out these creeping jennies. Here in South Carolina, this creeping jenny overwinters here. It's a profuse spreader too. I've heard people say it's invasive or whatever, but you know, I'm able to keep it under control. This is funny because I have this thing with symmetry, and one of the things that was bothering me about this plant is that it wasn't centered. It wasn't centered in the planter here. We're just gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that with a new plant. Alrighty, and as you know, I am into saving my soil at all costs. And I refreshed. Did I refresh this? I don't remember if I refreshed this pot. I think I refreshed this pot, or I know I top dressed it with fresh soil. I don't know why I'm being so stubborn. Let me just run and get a bucket. While I was up front, I grabbed my compost. There's some root matter down here. I heard two arguments about roots. I heard that leaving the roots in here can harm the plants, and I heard that keeping the roots in here helps the plants. The first argument is that they could potentially take away nutrients away from the plant if they still have life, so to say. And the argument for keeping it is that they're organic. They're gonna break down, and the process of them breaking down could help the plants. So I've done both. I've left some root matter. I left some root matter in my plants and my pots and just topped them off. And I have taken the entire contents of the entire container out, sifted it, and then reused it after I renourished it. And I actually have a video where I discuss how to rejuvenate or refresh potting soil. I think I made it last season or the season before. So I'm gonna put a little compost in here. Oh man, I am so happy. You know what? It's bigger than it looks. All right. And then I got this from someone else. I think I got this from Jenny at Creekside Nursery, where she takes the container that the plant comes in, puts it in the pot that it's going in to measure its depth and see if it's centered. Okay, that looks about good. So I'm gonna give him the best opportunity for success. Biotone down here. I see some of you guys, man, you pour that biotone in there, and every time I see you guys, I feel so guilty. I'm like, man, my plants don't get nothing like that. But it's gonna be a little overkill because I'm going to put biotone in the hole, as you saw, and then also I'm going to top dress it. When I top dress it, I'm just going to put some flower tone at the top. So that looks about center to me. All right. A little more compost around the root ball. compost almost feels like a rock in here. When it sits, sometimes it gets like that. Making sure to break it up. Okay. And I mentioned this in other planting videos. I always like to leave a little lip around the edge of the pot here, the container, so that when I water, the water doesn't just run off. Sometimes the soil can become hydrophobic, or because of its compaction, the first bit of water you put on it, it just kind of runs off. If you create this lip, even when that does happen, the water stays within the boundary. It doesn't just run off the sides. So. You know, and this is even a win-win. I still have plenty of soil that I can recondition and use for other things. All right. And like I said, this baby's getting the royal treatment. Getting some rose tone. I think I called it flower tone, rose tone. Give it a little zhuzh. All right, and then we'll put our creeping jennies back in. All right, and then our mulch. Oh, and if you're wondering about this sifter I'm using, this is actually cool. I saw this. Oh my goodness, the woman's name, I think, is Flower Patch Garden. She was using this during one of her winter sowing videos, and she just was kind of using it, and everyone was in the comments like, what is that sifter you have? What is that you're using? So she put it in the description of her next video, and I'll tell you, it looks small, but it gets the job done on my level. It gets the job done. I could pretty much do like a cubic foot bag of Miracle Grow is what I primarily use. Man, I could get through that like 1 cubic foot bag in maybe less than 10-15 minutes. So I think these are, yeah, let me get the mulch in here before I'm spilling it all over the sides. So I ended up spilling so much, I'm gonna need just to get a little more. Be right back. All right, as you can see, I'm back. So I like to top dress with mulch, you know, even in my containers, because just like in the gardens and hanging baskets and window boxes, you know, it helps retain moisture, and it protects from weeds and, you know, all that good stuff. So, okay. Oi, I forgot the ring. See if I can get around it without hurting the plant. No problem. All right, flip it over so this is facing down, because when I do that project, you know, the tubing is gonna come up from that direction. So I've mentioned to you guys that we have deer pressure here. Our property's open, there's fields all around us, and the deer do browse through our property at night. Hibiscus are not deer resistant. So what I'm gonna have to do, I realize I use the term fortify, and I think some of you guys might have understood what I meant by that. But what I need to do is deer-proof the plant. And part of that is protecting the plant itself and training the deer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my wireless deer fence probe in with the pot, okay? And I usually face it out that direction, close to the vegetation. The way the instructions say to use these is to put them out randomly along your property as well as in your vegetation. I like putting them right at my vegetation. And as another line of defense, I'm going to drape deer netting on the top of this. So even if the deer just so happens to reach around and they're able to get at one of the bulbs or something, it's going to be protected by the deer netting. And sometimes, you know, they bite so hard, they kind of bite through the netting to get to the plant. But I'm thinking that whole awkwardness of them realizing that there's netting around it, they might touch this probe. And boy, I tell you, I've had it touch my arm or my legs while working around it, and I couldn't imagine getting touched on my my sensitive nose or my mouth. It is like 2 zillion jolts of electricity. So let me go get the deer fence. I tell you what, I'm gonna put it back on top of this caster. My symmetry, I gotta get it exactly straight. Doesn't it look pretty? What I'm gonna do is just drape this just over the top of it, just haphazardly, like that. And as the deer come and browse on it, they, you know what, I should have it for this thing, because they usually come from these directions. So this should be towards the field. Boy, this deer stuff just clings to everything. And just simply just drape it on top of it. And this is really an effective training process, because right now the deer are trained, and I'll snap in some footage. They literally avoid coming near the patio, the front gardens, because like I said, I fortify my beds, my gardens with booby traps, which are like old-fashioned mouse trap booby traps, with the wireless deer fence, the stinky deer repellent that I make. As a matter of fact, I have some old rotting milk right next to me because I need to make a new batch. So between the three, they're very effective. Now, every now and then we get a rogue deer who decides to take on the challenge, and we just got to make sure that they know who's the boss. So ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It's my happy late birthday gift that I treated myself to. I'm going to water it in. I'm going to douse it with some deer repellent. I'm going to keep you guys updated during my garden tours to let you guys see how it progresses. I'm so happy that I was able to find this plant and add it to my flowering and plant arsenal. I'm so happy. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It motivates me to put out more and more content, and I love engaging with you guys. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is South Carolina Transplant, also known as Martin, coming to you live from Zone 8A, the Piedmont of South Carolina. Until the next one, friends.